Hello, orienteering friends. Welcome to the recording of our regional race near Rakovník. I accidentally left my camera settings in a manual setup, and that's why the video is for the most part overexposed. I hope it will not totally ruin your experience, and let's start to the first control. Here I did a first small mistake. I think it was because last week we were running mostly in the sandstones, and I saw these big cliffs here, so I thought maybe the control will be on the top, and I didn't read my descriptions properly. I think I didn't read them at all. So I decided to take the road from the right, basically from to come to the top of the cliff where I was expecting the control. Now, it wasn't that bad of a choice. It was fairly runnable. The slope was not difficult to climb, and as you can see, I had kind of a plenty of anchor points. Here I was aiming for this greenish stuff, like non-runnable forest. This was more like a bush that was not possible to get through. And here I correctly, turned left after that bush. That led me on top of the control. Because I didn't saw the control now, I decided to go down. This was very steep, and I was like, stupido, you should check your descriptions. The control is right here in front of me. You don't see it because of that exposure. Now to the second control, that was tricky. Not that tricky, but I didn't want to climb this big slope again. It was very dry, and I was afraid that I would lose the traction. So I decided to go through this valley or old quarry. I would assume that people were getting the stones from here. It was very bushy and, not really pleasant to not drive, run. Basically, you have to avoid all the branches all the time, and there are many branches with spikes. So it wasn't very runnable, but it kind of led me straight to the control. Almost. I came out of these bushes to the meadow that you see on the map, and then I corrected myself, and when I looked to my left, I basically saw the control. It was in this small ditch, really very small. So it wasn't, the control was not hidden. Here, you see overexposed meadow. It was this was mainly to I decided to take a bearing and just to avoid the greenish stuff as much as I could. So here I'm basically aiming to the forest, but I'm trying to avoid that non-passable, non-runnable forest or bushes. So here I'm at the edge of it. It was a slight slope, so I wasn't, at this point I felt a little bit exhausted. Now I even was thinking about my direction, but generally I would say my direction was okay, and I was just looking for some terrain and contour, not inconsistencies, but curves. It led me to this control, which was this like small depression, but the number didn't match my description, so I continued in my direction. This was more contourish, more wavy, let's say, even. So I was fairly certain that my control is here. That was fine. Now to control 4, I think I did a mistake. The better approach, in my opinion, would be to go to the top, basically follow these contours, and I don't know why I didn't do that. Instead, I decided to go down around the greenish stuff. Maybe it was because this greenish bushes, I was trying to avoid it. So that led me down, and then I again was lazy to run up the slope to my right, and rather decided to go around these bushes, and I thought that I will just climb the hill, and I wasn't very successful in it, mainly because of all these bushes that I was trying to avoid, and so I basically ended up climbing this big hill. I think that cost me maybe a minute, maybe not that much. Fortunately, this was still the beginning of the race, so I was kind of still fresh, let's say. So I was. It wasn't It wasn't that difficult for me to climb it up. Of course, it wasn't easy, but you know, when you are still fresh, it's doable. Uh, let's move it a bit further, because now I'm just climbing. So here I got to the big vehicle road. There was this junction, so it was fairly easy to navigate now, because there was roads and also other runners. I saw that guy in front of me, now in front of me, so that was like reassuring that I'm heading the right direction. Now the only issue is here to get around all the vegetation. As you can see, we both knew that the control must be somewhere on our left, and now to control 5, I already was decided. Well, this was an easy decision. You basically want to get to the road or path, and I think I should have gone a little bit around around this small hill. I think it would be slightly faster, but I got kind of engulfed by this small hill, so I decided to not hop, but to cross it. At the end, it wasn't it wasn't that difficult. At the top, I catched my breath and decided on further advancement. Now, it wasn't that difficult because well, you are just running along the path, and then at some point you have to decide where to attack the control. I saw this opening basically, so I followed that, and it basically led me straight to my control, which on the map was like this mold, and yeah, kind of it was. Then to control 6, I decided to just go along the path all the way because I know that I'm pretty fast runner, so I will move it up now. At this junction, I basically, knew where I am, so I decided to, get off the road and go straight to the control. I saw this big, bigger moles or bigger hillish areas, and according to map, I knew that the control will be somewhere between them. So I got to the control, nothing spectacular here. Then I just followed the paths, and I knew that I saw on the map that the control will be behind this big rock or big rocky wall, let's say. I assumed that in the past this was a big quarry for getting stones, and so far so good. There is nothing that I can add. The troubles here is to find an opening, how to get behind or below the rock, below the cliff, let's say. Now I was looking for a big ditch. The issue here is that here I found like a shallower ditch. I think it's this one on my left, but it was kind of big. Then there was this other ditch, and I already started looking for the control here. The control was actually a little bit further. Now I thought that I found the ditch and I was looking for one more, but then somebody told me the control is there. This guy told me that the control is a little bit further, so I found it then. Thanks to him. Otherwise, I would probably spend a little bit more time there. Now, at this point, I didn't orient my map properly, and I actually went through this greenish bushes. I don't know if I wanted to go to the big road, or I think I just didn't orient my map properly, so I lost a couple seconds here. You see that I moved my map, so that was it. I had to correct myself, and when I did, it was like obvious where to go. So now I basically went back because I know that how to climb up. And then when I was on the top of this big wall, big rock wall or big cliff, I decided to, like not to go over it, but to go below it and through the quarry. There was this road. I'm still a little bit hesitant and thinking where to go, but I guess now at this point I was fairly fairly certain that I will go through the valley, basically in the direction of control 5, and so that's why I'm running. And this is a road, this white stuff, and I'm sorry for the shakiness. This is old Hero 7, so it's not really good at keeping the horizon level. And probably each time I look down, it makes things worse. So now, as I said, I was basically aiming to control 5 as my anchor point. I thought that it would be easier for me to, maybe get like a good direction. I also helped this lady here. She was asking where she is. Since I knew it, it was fairly easy now. And then I went, I think almost straight to the south. Not to the south. I went slightly to my right now, trying to avoid the bushes as much as I could. Here basically it was funny. I couldn't decide which way to go through. I didn't see any proper opening. At last I had to tell myself, oh well, no other choice, man. You have to go through it. So I think it wasn't best choice, but I did my best now to get through all this greenish stuff. It would be easier to maybe go to the forest a little bit in advance and then run around this green stuff. I see the feeder for the animals, so I knew that my control will be somewhere here in the bushes. So I was kind of looking for some terrain inconsistencies, or how you say that, some kind of depressions, etc. I found my control there. Now to control 9. At first I was thinking that I will run through this meadow, but I didn't. I just ran along it, and then I fought my way through this greenish area. It wasn't that difficult. This was fairly runnable, so I think I decided to get through and to hit that small path that leads to control 9. You will see that I will soon get to that bigger path, maybe a vehicle road, and then I will go slightly. Do I get? Yeah, this is the vehicle road. I continue a little bit around it, but I knew that I knew that I want to hit that smaller road, so I will go into the forest soon. I just need to find some spot that it's at least a little bit thinner of vegetation. As you can see now, I'm more or less headed to that small path, Here it is. So now I was thinking, yeah, you should get as close to those stones as possible. And so I was constantly looking to my left, although now, yeah, this was the area that I passed previously, somewhere here. Now I think I saw some stones, so I decided to go left in the general direction of those stones. Oh, I felt, didn't remember it, don't remember it. And then I saw the control from here. Again, it was a small depression, so the control was visible. To control 10, I basically decided to go around this hatched area, or so to avoid all these vines from strawberries or blackberries. I saw these guys fighting their way through that area, but when I saw it now, I was like, no way, I'm going around. This is stupidity. I would get my feet entangled in those vines. So even though it was, a slope up, and it wasn't easy to, it was not possible to run, at least for me in my physical condition. So I just followed this hatched area, and I just went around. I wasn't very sure where am I, so I was looking in the wrong direction. Now I saw this big hole, and I thought that there should be my control. But then I noticed in the map that there is this big hole, and then after the big hole is this big ditch. So I lost a couple seconds there, but nothing major. Here, well, first I think I didn't correctly understood the meadows here. I don't know why. I was probably not very well focused at this point. So I went to this first meadow, and I wanted to get through that greenish stuff, and that was not possible. And I think I should have run to the second, yeah, I should have passed through this greenish stuff that is on my left now. Here the path was not passable, so now I should get a little bit further and to my right. I think that would be better option. Instead, I opted to go here and then there, and here I got lost, to be honest. It was mostly crawling for me because I'm like 188 centimeters tall, and not very pleasant. But I somehow I got lost here, and didn't properly identify the volley, and I was so focused on that blue how it is called, water thing, that at this point I thought that I'm there, and in fact I thought that this was this water thing it was just dry, and I didn't notice any of the gatekeeper's goal, so because of that I was lost, and I basically went to this volley following this guy, and I was honestly I was lost here. I didn't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should have followed this guy, and I would get to my control. But I thought that I'm in my, well, not in mine volley, but in the volley where the control is supposed to be. And so I went down this volley looking for the control, and I was going very slow, as you can see, because I didn't know where I am, and I didn't properly identify the shallowness of the volley. I didn't properly, like estimated its depth, and so at the end I ended up on this plateau between the volleys. Maybe that meadow in front of me could give me a clue, but not yet. As you can see, I thought that maybe the control is behind me. Then I was looking at the other slope. Yes. Now when I'm looking at it, it's it's not very pleasant to watch for me. I feel stupid, but then I went back. I came to this control, and finally I saw this meadow in front of me. So I was like, okay, so I'm at this meadow, I have to go back. Of course, I could have gone the correct volley. Instead, I went basically back the way I was before. I just then crossed the plateau between the two volleys. At least for me, it was easier to navigate. At this point, at least I knew where I am. So here I will climb up and basically get to the control. Now, from this point, it was like, at least I was kind of certain a little bit where I am and where I'm headed. So now the question was more about, is the control somewhere here? I think I saw it now. So now I'm headed to the control. Yeah, here it is. And I lost like 3 minutes here, I guess. Maybe even more. I don't know. Anyways, now I just went through this valley and around and climbed up to this opposite hill, or edge of the valley. I basically, or no, I ran through the valley to the meadow, I guess. It makes more sense to me. That's what I would do. As you can see, I did that. So I went through the valley to the meadow where I already was before. And then to the left, around it. Yeah, there was even this small path. So maybe this was not the best approach. I could have run all the way around straight to the valley. But since I saw this opening, it was okay, and it wasn't that big of a slope. It was slightly up, maybe 2-3 meters that was steep, and then it was very well runnable, and there was all these paths around, so it was easy for me to find the control. And also I knew that I'm following the contour. And the same I did to control 13 with one small, I don't know how to say that, it's one small stop. There, as you can see on the map in front of me, there is this knoll, is that right, or mold? So I stopped at it because there was a control, and I wasn't like sure, am I here? So I lost again like maybe 10 seconds there. It was of course stupid because here I'm on the top, and I know this. I know that I'm on the top, so why would I stop at this control? Why? I don't understand it. I even went backwards, like I saw this control and I was like, is that a control? What? And I went there, like I went and checked the number. Like this doesn't make sense, but yeah, here I knew it was stupid. Now this was like obvious that the control must be somewhere here in the small depression, small valley. I could have just avoided this mistake by thinking more clearly. Here again, to number 14, it was more about keeping yourself on the contour level. It wasn't very difficult, in my opinion, but for some reason I deviated slightly, probably because here was a little bit easier path, so I ended up a little bit too much off the slope, and then here I had to climb it again. Actually, I was trying to find some better, better way around the vegetation that was there. So here I am going around some fallen trees, and as you can see, mostly I'm trying to figure out where to fit myself, up and down, around. So here again it was like 10-15 second loss, I guess. Now I'm certain that I saw the control already. It's here. Just punched it. Now to control 15. That was easy because it was at the edge of the valley. So again, most of this race was, figuring out how to get around all that vegetation. And I decided to go to the valley and then through the valley, avoid the vegetation as much as I can, run as much as I can. Here it was not really possible. There was still some fallen trees and branches and whatnot. But once I got around here, I was able to run because I decided to go at the edge of this valley, and it was fairly runnable, although it was uphill. So I guess at this point I was a little bit exhausted, and I just used that as an excuse to maybe stop a little bit and to catch a breath. Now here I'm not sure if what I was thinking, but yeah, here is the control. So yeah, I knew that it will be somewhere around the edge of the volley, so it wasn't difficult. I wasn't super sure where exactly I am, but more or less the navigation to the control was clear. Probably I was too tired to run, and I was thinking to myself how to get to control 16, but basically you just take a bearing and run that general direction or walk, as you can see. That's what I'm doing right now. And then this ditch was at somewhere at the bottom of the valley, so I kind of ran where my senses led me. To control 17, again, this was more of a fight with vegetation. Normally, I would run all the way down through this valley and, orienting myself more to the left side of the valley. Here, it was quite like, for me, it was just thinking how to get around the vegetation. So I tried to run through, and also I saw these things for the kids. We call them faborke, but it's small colored papers. As you can see, I'm fighting the vegetation here. It's not. Maybe this was not very optimal passage, let's say. At least not for a big bloke like me. But once I got through here, it was easy. Yeah, I was just maybe checking on myself, but I knew that the control is behind this hill, not hill, yeah. So behind the corner, let's say, or around the corner, so of the valley. So here I was already. I knew that I have to cross it, and then I should look for it, and I saw it here, more or less exactly where I expected it. Now to control 18, that was easy because it was all the way around this stream. So I just followed the other runners basically, and it was not easy, but yeah, this is kind of, you can run it, this was the big tree, so I briefly checked it, but still in a pace somewhat, because at first I didn't saw it on the map. Around this point I saw the big tree on the map, so that was kind of reassurance that I'm going all right direction. And then here this was like, the control is here at the tree, and this was some kind of terrain, mold or null, whatever. And to control 19 there was this small path. It was like, there was no hesitation which way to go. I got to the edge of the meadow, then followed this edge of the meadow and into this small forest, and I was basically expecting the control somewhere here, and I think it's here. Yeah, here it is. So it was again a ditch at the edge of the dirt cliff, or how you call it. Again, overexposed meadow, and this was a military special move that you do when you enter the finish. I hope you liked it a little bit, and see you next time. Bye.